The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council stretched higher than any human building. Captain James Walker felt small as he walked between tall alien guards. Lights from strange stars shone through the crystal ceiling. This was humanity's big moment. First contact with the wider galaxy. Walker straightened his uniform and touched the Earth patch on his shoulder. Behind him walked 3 other humans, the best Earth had to offer. A scientist, a diplomat, and a military officer. They represented all of humanity. The council members sat in a half-circle on high seats. Walker counted 12 different alien species. Some looked almost human. Others seemed made of light or stone. The biggest one, with gray skin and 4 arms, spoke first. "I am Thax, head of the council," it said through a translator. "Earth has been watched for some time. You have finally achieved space travel worthy of notice." Walker stepped forward. "Thank you for welcoming us. Earth is honored to join the galactic community. We bring friendship and hope to learn from your advanced civilizations." Laughter echoed through the chamber. Walker felt his face grow hot. "Learn? Yes, you have much to learn," said a thin blue alien. "Your species still fights among itself. Your technology is primitive. Your bodies are fragile. A small robot-like being projected images of Earth's wars, pollution, and poverty." The aliens whispered to each other. Thax raised 2 of his 4 hands. "The Council has classified Earth as developing species, Grade 3. This is our lowest rank. You may trade basic goods with approved worlds. You will receive no military protection. Your ships must stay within 5 light years of your sun." Walker couldn't believe what he was hearing. "With respect, Earth deserves better. We've overcome countless challenges. We've united our planet more than ever before. We're quick learners." "Quick to fight, you mean?" interrupted a floating creature made of purple light. "We've studied your history. Your kind turns to violence too easily." "The Vex agree," said a tall, muscular alien with red markings on its face. "Humans are too emotional, too unpredictable." Walker tried again. "We've changed. Earth now has 1 defense fleet, not competing armies. We've solved many of our environmental problems." "Enough," Thax said. "The classification stands. Be grateful you were recognized at all." The diplomat beside Walker whispered, "Captain, we should accept for now. We can prove ourselves later." Walker nodded slowly. He didn't like it, but they had no choice. "Earth accepts the Council's decision." "Very well," Thax said. "This meeting is over." As the humans turned to leave, Walker noticed the Vex leader talking quietly with Thax. They looked at Earth's delegation and nodded. Something wasn't right. Back on their ship, Walker stared at the stars. "They see us as children," he said to his crew. "Weak children." Lieutenant Emma Ross, his best tactical officer, joined him. "Did you notice how interested the Vex were in our solar system?" "Yes. They kept asking about our mining operations." Ross showed him her tablet. "I picked up some of their communications. My translator only caught pieces, but they mentioned Mars and our asteroid belt repeatedly." Walker frowned. "They don't respect us enough to ask permission, do they?" "I don't think so, sir. The Council gave us the lowest rank. In their eyes, we barely matter." Walker watched as the alien ships moved around them, massive and powerful. Earth's best ship looked like a toy beside them. "We'll head home tomorrow," he said. "And we'll prepare. I don't think the Vex are coming to be friends." Ross nodded. "They underestimate us, Captain." Walker smiled for the first time that day. Everyone always does, until they learn better. Neither of them knew how soon that lesson would come. 6 months passed quickly. Earth tried to prepare, but how do you get ready for something you've never faced before? Captain Walker stared at the screen in the command center. Red dots showed alien ships moving through the solar system. They had arrived 3 days ago without warning. "They didn't even say hello," said Lieutenant Ross, standing next to him. "Just flew right past our outer warning beacons." Walker nodded. "And now they're setting up on Mars." "Count." 12 large ships in Mars orbit, 8 smaller ones in the asteroid belt. They're mining already. The room fell quiet. Earth had sent 7 messages to the alien ships. No answers came back. Yesterday, they had sent 2 science vessels to make direct contact. Neither had returned. "Show me the last transmission from the Explorer *," Walker said. The screen changed. A nervous captain appeared. "This is Captain Bell of Earth Ship Explorer *. We are approaching the alien vessel to establish communication. They're scanning us now. Wait. They're powering weapons. This is a peaceful mission. We're..." The screen went dark. Walker closed his eyes for a moment. "Get me Earth Command." Minutes later, 5 grim faces looked back at him from screens around the room. The leaders of Earth's Combined Defense Force. "Captain Walker," said Admiral Chen. "Your report." "The Vex have destroyed our science vessels, sir. They're treating our system like uninhabited territory." "We should try more diplomatic channels," suggested one official. "Perhaps through the Council." Ross stepped forward. "With respect, the Council doesn't care. They classified us as barely worth notice, and the Vex clearly feel they don't need our permission." "What do you suggest, Lieutenant?" asked Admiral Chen. "They see us as weak, as nothing. They won't respect words, only actions." Walker agreed. "If someone breaks into your home, you don't send them a letter asking them to leave." The screens went silent as Earth's leaders talked among themselves. Finally, Admiral Chen spoke. "Captain Walker, you have permission to take the defense fleet and remove these intruders from our system. Try to avoid firing first, but make it clear they have entered our territory without permission." "Yes, sir." When the call ended, Walker turned to his crew. "Prepare the fleet, all 10 ships. We launch in 3 hours." Ross looked worried. "Sir, the Vex ships are much bigger than ours. More advanced." "Yes, they are, but they don't think we'll fight. That's our advantage." 6 hours later, Earth's small fleet approached Mars. Walker commanded from his ship, the Resilience *. It was Earth's newest vessel, but still simple compared to alien technology. "All ships in formation," reported his officer. "The Vex have noticed us. They're turning our way." "Open a channel," Walker ordered. "All frequencies." He stood straight as the camera focused on him. "This is Captain James Walker of Earth Defense Fleet. You have entered Earth's solar system without permission. You have destroyed our unarmed science vessels. You are ordered to cease all activities and leave immediately." For a minute, nothing happened. Then a face appeared on screen. The alien had red markings and cold eyes. "The Vex. I am General Krell of the Vex Mining Command. This system is open territory according to Galactic Council classification. Your primitive vessels are interfering with authorized operations." Walker kept his voice steady. "This is our home system. We don't recognize your authority here." Krell seemed amused. "And what will you do, human? Your toys against our warships?" "We will defend our home," Walker said simply. Krell actually laughed. "Perhaps a demonstration is needed. A simple lesson for the children." He turned to someone off-screen. "Target their smallest vessel. Low power, just enough to send them running home." Walker's eyes widened. "All ships, evasive action." The space around Mars lit up as the first shots were fired. The smallest Earth ship, the Swift *, rolled sideways as the Vex beam flashed past. It missed by inches. The crew had moved faster than Krell expected. "All ships, scatter pattern Delta," Walker commanded. His heart raced, but his voice stayed calm. "Remember your training. They're stronger, but we're faster." The Earth fleet broke formation, each ship flying in a different direction. Krell's laughter echoed through the communication channel. "You run already. The lesson has barely begun." Lieutenant Ross studied her screen on the Resilience *. "Captain, the Vex ships are moving in standard attack formation. Just like in the military records we studied. Walker nodded. They don't change tactics. They don't need to. They usually overpower everyone. But we're not everyone, Ross said with a small smile. Walker turned to his crew. New plan. All ships, head for the asteroid belt. Use the rocks for cover. Lieutenant Ross, send attack plan crazy. Crazy, sir. Are you sure? They think we're primitive and predictable. Let's show them different. Ross quickly sent the orders. The Earth ships turned and raced toward the thick field of asteroids. The Vex ships followed, firing more shots. 2 hit the back of an Earth vessel, damaging its engines. The Asterisk Defender Asterisk is hit, reported an officer. They've lost speed, but they're still moving. General Krell's face appeared again. Your ships will be destroyed one by one. Surrender now and return to your planet. Walker ignored him. Is everyone in position? Yes, Captain. All ships are in place. Begin now. Across the asteroid belt, Earth ships had attached mining explosives to dozens of large rocks. Now they all detonated at once. The explosions weren't powerful enough to damage the Vex ships directly, but they created a massive cloud of smaller rocks and dust. What is this? Krell demanded as his sensors went dark. A dust cloud. You think this will save you? Walker didn't answer. Inside the cloud, Earth ships moved with purpose. Each captain knew exactly what to do. They had trained for fighting blind. The Asterisk Swift Asterisk, Earth's smallest ship, attached explosives directly to a Vex ship's engine section. 2 other Earth vessels fired at the same spot from different angles. The combined attack tore through the alien ship shields. We have a hit, cheered Ross. 1 Vex ship down, but there were many more, and they were angry now. Full attack. Krell ordered his fleet. Destroy them all. The space around Mars became chaos. Vex ships fired powerful weapons in all directions, trying to hit the nimble Earth vessels. Some shots found their targets. Earth ships took heavy damage. The Asterisk Defender Asterisk and Asterisk Guardian Asterisk are badly hit, reported an officer. 3 more of our ships have moderate damage. Walker gripped his chair as the Asterisk Resilience Asterisk shook from a near miss. What about the Vex? We've disabled 2 of their ships and damaged 3 others. But, sir, they're regrouping. Their reinforcements are coming from the other side of Mars. Walker studied the tactical display. They had fought well, but they couldn't win this way. The Vex had too many ships, too much power. Sir, Ross said quietly, the Asterisk Resilience Asterisk could ram Krell's command ship. Our engines are still at full power. Walker stared at her. That's suicide. Not if we use the emergency pods after setting the course. And sir, they'd never expect it. The Vex think logically. No logical commander sacrifices their ship. The Asterisk Resilience Asterisk rocked again as another hit struck them. Warning lights flashed. Hull breach on deck 3, shouted an officer. Shields failing. Walker made his decision. All crew to escape pods. Set course for Krell's ship, maximum speed. Lieutenant Ross, send orders to the fleet. Retreat to Earth once we've hit. As crew members ran to the escape pods, Ross stayed by Walker's side. You should go, Lieutenant. Not without you, Captain. Walker programmed the ship's final course, then nodded. Now we run. They barely made it to the last pod before the Asterisk Resilience Asterisk locked into its suicide course. As their pod shot away, they watched their ship accelerate toward the Vex command vessel. On his ship, General Krell watched the approaching Earth vessel with confusion. They're on a collision course. Evasive action. But it was too late. The Asterisk Resilience Asterisk slammed into the Vex ship at full speed. The explosion lit up the Martian sky like a new sun. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was no longer quiet and orderly. Aliens shouted over each other as a recording played on the main screen. It showed Earth ships fighting Vex vessels. ending with the asterisk resilience asterisk crashing into General Krell's command ship. "Impossible," shouted a Vex representative, slamming his fist down. "These primitives destroyed 5 of our ships. Krell's ship was one of our finest." Fax, the council leader, raised all 4 of his hands for silence. "We are all surprised by these events. Lieutenant Dex, you survived the battle. Tell us exactly what happened." A younger Vex stepped forward. His face showed he was still in shock. "The humans did not fight as expected. They used the asteroid field against us. They moved without patterns. And their captain—" Dex paused. "He sacrificed his main ship to destroy our command vessel." "What species does that?" A glowing purple lumina floated forward. "I have studied the human minds we captured before. They are strange. They feel fear strongly, yet they often act against it. It makes no sense." "The Mech Collective has analyzed the battle data," said a robot-like being. "Humans show 73% higher adaptability in chaos environments than any known species. This is concerning." Only one council member looked thoughtful rather than alarmed. Zin, from the tree-like arboreal species, spoke gently. "Perhaps we judged too quickly. The humans were defending their home system. What would any of us do if strangers took our resources without asking?" "Are you defending them?" snapped the Vex representative. "I am suggesting we reconsider," Zin replied. The council gave the Vex permission to mine in human territory without consulting Earth. The humans responded to protect their home. Fax frowned. The classification was clear. Grade 3 species have no exclusive claim to their outer system resources. "Perhaps the classification was wrong," Zin said. The debate continued for hours. Finally, Fax called for a vote. "The council has decided. Earth has shown unacceptable aggression. We will send a pacification force to the human system." He turned to a tall, scared Vex. "Admiral Drav, you will lead this mission. Show these humans their proper place in the galaxy." "With pleasure," Drav said coldly. "I will take 20 battle groups. The humans will learn respect." Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Walker and Lieutenant Ross stood in a crowded war room. They had returned heroes. Their escape pod had been rescued 2 days after the battle. "The Vex will return," Walker told Earth's leaders. "And they'll bring more ships next time." "How can we fight them?" asked one official. "We've seen their technology. It's far beyond ours." Ross stepped forward. "We won't win with better ships. We'll win with better thinking." She pointed to a map of Earth. "We need to prepare everyone, not just the military. Every city, every town. We turn Earth itself into our advantage." "What are you suggesting?" Admiral Chen asked. "Project Thunderbolt," Walker said. "We convert civilian systems for defense. Weather satellites become early warning systems. Mining equipment becomes ground defense. And most importantly, we train civilians as local defense forces." "You want to arm civilians?" someone asked with shock. "Not just with weapons," Ross explained. "With knowledge. Each community knows its area better than any invader could. That's our advantage." Admiral Chen nodded slowly. "You're talking about a planet-wide resistance." "Exactly," Walker said. "The Vex expect to fight a traditional war against our military. But they'll be fighting all of humanity. For hours, they planned. Factories were converted to produce defenses. Satellite systems were reprogrammed. Every person with combat or strategic experience was called to teach others." 3 weeks later, Walker stood on a rooftop watching the sky. Ordinary people worked all around him, setting up communication systems and defense positions. Farmers, teachers, office workers, all preparing to defend their world. "They're coming," Ross said, joining him. The radar showed hundreds of ships entering the outer solar system. "Admiral Drav has at least 20 times what Krell brought." Walker nodded. "And we're ready for them." He looked at the determination on the faces around him. "The Vex think humans are weak because we feel fear. They don't understand that fear is why we fight so hard." Ross smiled. They're about to learn. In space, Admiral Drav's fleet moved toward Earth. He studied the small blue planet on his screen. This will be a simple mission, he told his officers. A primitive world that needs discipline. He didn't know what was waiting for him. Admiral Drav expected Earth to fall within hours. His massive fleet darkened the skies as they approached. But the simple victory he promised his warriors never came. The first surprise was Earth's outer defense system. Commercial satellites, once used for weather and communication, now fired makeshift weapons. Mining ships, reinforced with armor, rammed smaller Vex vessels. None of these should have damaged the advanced alien fleet, but there were so many, attacking from all directions. This is not possible, Drav growled as reports of damage came in. How did they convert civilian equipment so quickly? His second-in-command looked worried. Sir, we're detecting unusual energy patterns from the planet. Their power grids are changing. On Earth, Walker coordinated the defense from an underground command center. Screens showed battles across the globe and in orbit. The first wave held better than expected, Ross reported. Drav lost 23 ships before reaching our atmosphere. Walker nodded. Activate the city defense grids. Across Earth, power systems switched to emergency mode. Every major city became a fortress. When Vex landing ships approached New York, hidden weapons fired from skyscrapers. In Beijing, the subway system flooded with sleeping gas when Vex soldiers broke through, knocking them unconscious. In Nairobi, buildings that looked damaged from orbit were actually traps, collapsing on enemy troops. They fight like animals. Drav complained as more reports of losses came in. No honor, no proper formations. In the countryside, things went even worse for the Vex. Farmers led alien troops into swamps or ambushed them from hidden bunkers. Mountain villages rolled boulders down on landing parties. Even children played their part, acting as messengers and lookouts. After a week, Drav had lost a third of his force and controlled only small areas of Earth. He called his commanders together on his ship. This ends now, he said coldly. We will strike directly at their leadership. Find Walker. It took 3 more days, but Vex Special Forces finally located Walker's command center. They attacked with everything they had. The battle lasted hours. Many humans died defending their captain, but eventually, the aliens broke through. Walker ordered everyone to evacuate. He stayed behind to destroy sensitive information. That's when Drav's soldiers captured him. They brought Walker to Drav's ship, beaten but still proud. The admiral circled him slowly. You have caused me much trouble, human, Drav said. Your people fight without honor. Walker looked up. We fight to survive. There's no rule book for that. Drav laughed. And yet you follow rules. You could have used nuclear weapons. You have not. We won't destroy our own planet to save it, Walker said. That's not survival. Noble, Drav mocked. And useless. I have you now. Your people respect you. They follow you. He grabbed Walker's face. Tell them to surrender, and I will be merciful. Walker didn't hesitate. No. Drav's eyes narrowed. Then I will execute you publicly. Your people will watch their hero die, and their resistance will crumble. Walker just smiled. You still don't understand humans. Killing me won't make them give up. It will make them fight harder. Drav ordered a global broadcast. All communication devices on Earth showed Walker in chains. Drav's voice boomed across the planet. People of Earth, I have your leader. Surrender within 1 day, or watch him die. In the underground backup command center, Lieutenant Ross watched the broadcast with Earth's remaining leaders. Her face showed no fear, only determination. He's trying to break our spirit, said Admiral Chen. What do we do? Ross stood up straight. We get our captain back, and we showed Drav what happens when you threaten a human. She turned to the communication officer. Send the message. Operation Last Stand begins now. Across Earth, millions of humans prepared for the biggest fight yet. They had trained for this moment. They would not let Walker die. And orbiting secretly above them all, Council member Zinn watched from a cloaked ship, recording everything. Lieutenant Ross's plan was bold, perhaps even foolish, but humans were good at foolish plans that somehow worked. "We have 20 hours before Drav's deadline," she told her team. "We need to create a distraction big enough to pull forces away from his ship." Thomas, a young medic who had joined the command staff, spoke up. "What about the hospital ships? The Vex have left them alone so far." Ross nodded. "Because they don't see them as threats." Perfect. 6 hours later, 20 hospital ships took off from different locations around the world. Each carried wounded soldiers and civilians, and hidden strike teams. The Vex, following galactic rules of war, allowed the medical vessels safe passage to a neutral treatment station near the moon. Meanwhile, Ross led a smaller team toward Drav's command ship in a captured Vex shuttle. They wore stolen Vex armor. On his ship, Drav prepared for Walker's execution, set up the broadcast system. "Every human on Earth will watch this." Walker stood in chains, but his eyes showed no fear. "My death won't matter. Earth will never surrender to bullies." "We shall see," Drav replied coldly. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. "Sir," called a Vex officer. "Multiple explosions at our fuel depots near the moon. All our hospital ships are under attack." Drav growled in anger. "Attacking medical stations. These humans truly have no honor." He turned to his security chief. "Take half our ships to crush this cowardly attack." As Vex ships rushed to defend their fuel depots, Ross's stolen shuttle docked with Drav's command ship. The disguised humans moved quickly through the corridors, following the plans they had memorized from captured Vex data. On Earth, millions watched their screens, waiting for Walker's execution. Instead, they saw the broadcast suddenly cut off. Ross's team fought their way to the prison section. Vex guards fell before their surprise attack. When they reached Walker's cell, he grinned at Ross. "You're late, Lieutenant." "Traffic was bad, sir," she replied, breaking his chains. They were halfway back to their shuttle when the ship rocked violently. The hull had been breached. "We got company," Walker said as emergency alarms wailed. In another part of the ship, Council member Zinn had been discovered. The peaceful arboreal had come aboard secretly to witness the conflict firsthand. Now Vex soldiers cornered him as the ship's damage spread. "Spy," they accused, weapons raised. The ceiling above them suddenly collapsed. Zinn covered his head, expecting to die. Instead, he felt someone pull him to safety. Opening his eyes, he saw Thomas, the human medic. "Are you hurt?" Thomas asked, checking Zinn for injuries. "Why would you help me?" Zinn asked in wonder. "I am not human." Thomas shrugged. "You're a person who needed help. That's enough." More explosions rocked the ship. "We need to get to safety," Thomas said. "Can you walk?" Together, they made their way through the damaged ship. Along the way, Thomas stopped repeatedly to help injured Vex soldiers. He bandaged wounds and gave pain medication to aliens who, moments before, had tried to kill him. Zinn watched in amazement. "They are your enemies." "They're wounded," Thomas said simply. "That makes them patients." When they reached the shuttle area, they found Walker, Ross, and the rescue team fighting off Vex forces. The battle was fierce. Ross took a hit to her shoulder but kept firing. Walker used a Vex weapon to hold back attackers. "Captain," Thomas called. "I found someone." When Walker saw Zinn, his eyes widened. "A council member. Here." "I came to see the truth," Zinn explained. Another explosion larger than before rocked the ship. The deck beneath them groaned. "This whole section is about to break apart," Ross warned. "We need to leave now." They fought their way to the shuttle. As they lifted off, Drav's mighty ship began breaking into pieces, damaged beyond repair by the battle and cascade of system failures. From the shuttle window, Zinn watched Earth grow larger as they descended. He had seen everything. Humans fighting together despite their differences, rescuing their leader against impossible odds, and most incredibly, helping wounded enemies even during battle. "I must tell the Council," he whispered. "They need to know what humans truly are." The Galactic Council chamber had never been so packed. Representatives from every spacefaring species crowded to witness the emergency session. At the center stood Council member Zin, his tree-like form still showing marks from the battle on Drav's ship. "Honored Council," Zin began, "I have witnessed the human conflict personally. What I saw changes everything we believed about this species." Angry voices from the Vex section interrupted him. "They attacked medical stations. They destroyed Admiral Drav's fleet through trickery." Zin raised his branch-like arms. "I was there. The truth is different." He activated a projection showing recordings he had made. Humans defending their cities. Farmers with simple weapons standing against advanced Vex soldiers. Thomas treating wounded enemies. The room fell silent as they watched. "These humans," Zin continued, "fought not just with courage but with compassion. Even in war, they showed mercy. They saved me, an alien at risk to themselves." Facts. The council leader looked troubled, but they remain primitive, emotional, unpredictable. The Mech collective representative moved forward, mechanical eyes blinking. "Our analysis is complete. Humans evolved on a planet with more natural disasters and predator species than any council world. Their unpredictability is not a flaw. It is an evolutionary advantage. They adapted to survive chaos." "And their emotions?" asked Illumina, floating purple light pulsing with confusion. "Also adaptive," replied the mech. "Their feelings of loyalty and compassion bind them together. They cooperate in ways our logical species cannot understand." The council debated for hours. Finally, Fax called for silence. "The evidence is clear. We have misjudged the humans." He looked at the Vex delegation. Admiral Drav provoked this conflict. The humans defended their home, as any species would. Fax raised all four hands. "The Council hereby reclassifies humans as advanced species, Grade 1. All Vex forces will withdraw from Earth's system immediately." 2 weeks later, Captain Walker and Lieutenant Ross stood in the same council chamber where they had been dismissed months before. This time, they were welcomed as equals. "Earth thanks the Council for its reconsideration," Walker said, standing tall despite still healing wounds. "We look forward to peaceful relations with all species." Later, at a gathering of Council representatives, a Vex general approached Walker. His face showed respect, not the earlier contempt. "I must understand," the general said. "How did your species prevail? You were outmatched in every way." Walker considered the question carefully. "Your people have evolved toward perfection. You're stronger, more advanced, more logical than us." "Exactly," the Vex agreed. "So how did you defeat us?" "Because humans aren't perfect," Walker explained. "We never had the luxury of overwhelming strength, so we learned to be clever. We never had biological armor, so we learned to be brave despite our fear. We were never united by nature, so we learned the power of coming together by choice." Ross joined them, her arm still in a sling. "You saw our divisions as weakness, but our differences give us strength. Different ideas, different approaches, different solutions." Zin stepped forward, offering Walker a small seedling in a pot, a great honor from his species. "The Council believed humans were primitive because you feel emotions so strongly. We now understand that your feelings drive you to greatness." Walker accepted the gift with a smile. "We are still young compared to your civilizations. We have much to learn from you." "And we from you," Thax said, joining the conversation. His tone was respectful, not condescending as before. As they spoke, news arrived from Earth. The last Vex ships had departed the solar system. Celebrations broke out across the planet. Humans were officially recognized members of the galactic community. Back on his ship preparing for the journey home, Walker looked out at the stars with Ross by his side. They thought we were weak, Ross said quietly. Walker nodded. Until they witnessed us fight. Not just fight, Ross corrected. Until they witnessed us be human. In the vastness of space, Earth glowed blue and beautiful. No longer alone, no longer underestimated, humanity had earned its place among the stars.